Good evening. This is Bruce Stedman. I'm the Vice Chair of the Amherst Conservation Commission. This is the meeting of October 8th, 2025. There are 4 members of the commission here, so we do have a quorum. I would like Aaron to put up the PowerPoint so we can all see step by step this evening's meeting. Okay, and then if we can go on to the right, the agenda is so there are 2 hearings. This is for members of the public who are here observing. There are 2 hearings on this evening's agenda, that both of which are going to be continued. One by the request of the applicant, and the other because the applicant's public notice was not put in on time in order for it to be an appropriate or legal hearing. So both of these hearings will be continued. So if you're here for those and you'd like to step away, that's fine. If you would like to watch the rest, that's excellent. So I do have a couple of quick announcements. One is that the significant drought that was declared on August 1st, it continues. All non-essential water uses are banned except the watering of ornamentals, vegetables, and flower gardens with drip irrigation, handheld hose, or watering cans are permitted. In addition to that, it's not on the slide, but it should note that the bow season for deer and woodcock had opened, I think, a few days ago, and just be really aware if you're in the conservation areas that there are it's a long, complicated story, as we know, which areas are for hunting and not, but just know that season is open. Let's see. We will not have a director's report. Dave Zomack is not able to join us this evening. And then a reminder to the commissioners, present and not present, please review the draft land use policy regulations for a future public hearing and submit any comments to the staff, to Aaron, by December 1st. And the folder is in your packet. And this is especially important for the new members, who I will introduce in a moment, and especially for those of us who haven't looked at it in a while. So we all need to read this. So before we continue, I'd like to introduce Carol McNeary, the newest member of the Amherst Conservation Commission. Carol, do you have any introductory things you'd like to offer? Or
I'm really happy to be part of this group. I watched your work for a while, and I have great respect for it. I'm not a scientist or a engineer or a lawyer or have any associated profession, but I've had an abiding interest in water, wetlands, and conservation, and have had a fair amount of experience as a citizen in acting to protect them. I was a teacher in high school and community colleges for 20 years. And I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, welcome. It's good to have you.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you.
Next slide.
Bruce, could you mention Sarah as well? Sarah Matthews. She's not with us tonight, but she's also been appointed and will be sworn in shortly.
An additional member of the commission is Sarah Matthews, who has been appointed and will, I think, join us at the next meeting. And I just want to emphasize this slide, which we looked at 2 weeks ago, but it's a reminder. Due to the high volume of emails received by the staff, the emails that you send to, if any applicant or any person sends an email to Aaron that they want all of the commissioners to read, you need to specifically say that ask her to forward it on to the commissioners. Otherwise, she won't do it because there's just too many of them, and many of them are simply informational for her. There is a public comment form in a portal which can be found on the Town of Amherst Conservation webpage. And so please use that as the mechanism for sending information to the staff and to the commission. And remember to ask her to forward things if you want us to read them. Okay. So moving on to this evening's hearings. I'll just very quickly remind you of the procedures, even though we're going to continue both these hearings, that they have dedicated 20 minutes. There's 5 minutes by the applicant, 5 minutes by the staff, 5 minutes for the public, and 5 minutes for conservation commissioners. But the most important thing is that any information that is relevant and needed in the hearing needs to be in the office to Erin by the end of the Wednesday before the meeting, giving her a week and us a week to read the materials and understand it. So generally, that we use Robert Rules of Order, but I won't go into the rest of it for tonight. Let's go to the first hearing. Let's make sure the time. So we have a few minutes before we have to start this. So we're going to do some of our other business. So if we can go to that one. So, Erin, would you review the two other business things? Actually, there's quite a number of them here, but there's comments on the Eversource. It's a right-of-way request from the state where the comments are due November 21st. Can you just give us a very brief overview of what that means and what the commission's responsibility is here?
Yes. So there's I believe a MEPA application that's currently being reviewed by Eversource submitted the application to MEPA.
And MEPA is the Massachusetts Environmental Policy Act. And there's a State Department that administers it. Yeah.
Yes. So they're in the process of reviewing that proposal right now and seeking public comment on it. I believe members of the public and the local conservation commissions that are impacted are all being asked to submit comments. This came to us late because it was sent to the wrong email address. So I just wanted to make sure that we highlight it. There is in the correspondence folder, there is details about the application for commissioners to review. And my understanding is that there's significant widening of an existing Eversource right-of-way. So right now, a certain width of the right-of-way, and I'm not going to get it right, but let's say 150-foot wide corridor right-of-way is currently being maintained, but they're looking to widen it, and I think it's an additional, I want to say it's an additional 50 feet on each side or something to that effect, where it's widening pretty significantly.
Okay.
And they're looking for comments relative to mitigation proposals on this. And I did already meet with them to give them some ideas on this. But this is for written comments for commissioners.
Okay. And we're one of 5 towns through which this corridor goes.
There may be more than 5, but yeah, it goes
Okay.
from Montague, I believe, through to Granby or Ludlow.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, all right. So if someone wanted to actually look at the map, the materials would have the actual route. Alex.
Will there be opportunity to coordinate with the other affected towns so we know their thoughts and they know ours as we go forward?
I think we should try.
You mean when you say coordinate like a formal coordinated like joint meeting or something, or?
I didn't get that far in my thought. But we potentially have a number of towns filing comments, and it would be nice to know what others are thinking.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'd be happy to reach out to other towns. I mean, I do think yeah, I think it's a valid point, and it's helpful to see what others have commented on. So yeah, I mean, I think that in combination with commissioners looking and also staff looking and coming up with our own, I think would be great.
Yep, thank you.
I would support a Zoom meeting of the relevant town representatives just to maybe halfway through the time period, just to see where we are.
That would be great.
Okay. The 2024 Clean Energy Law has a much tighter turnaround, as I understand it.
Yeah, so Governor Healy has been very busy issuing a number of laws, basically. One of them is the Clean Energy Law, which significantly changes how we review clean energy projects. And there's a number of, I mean, it's a huge bill that basically is they're seeking comment on it right now, and it's supposed to be going into effect on March 1st, 2026. So there's a very short comment window on this. It's basically requiring cities and towns to review and issue permits. And this is like not just the Conservation Commission, but any municipal permit that's associated with the given project would be required to be issued within 1 year of the application coming in. So it requires coordinated effort of multiple town boards, and also there's one permit issued essentially on behalf of the town that incorporates all of the town permits into one package for the permit. So it puts a significant administrative, I'll say administrative burden on cities and towns to adapt to this new program. And there's a number of resources that they're providing to cities and towns to try to give us some like a circuit rider essentially to call and ask for help. But there's, you know, I mean, if I could just like turn this off for 1 second to see people's faces, because it's a little tough to do looking at a PowerPoint slide. I mean, I feel like right now I've definitely been feeling for a long time like I'm at maximum capacity with how busy we've been. And I am worried about the rollout of this and how it's going to affect, especially like we're talking large projects that might be 100 acres or 200 acres in size, and to permit that in that short a period of time is going to be very challenging with all of the wetlands and sensitive areas that we have in the town of Amherst, particularly if we want to conduct a peer review. I mean, just thinking about how long peer review process takes, it can take months.
And what is the date for the comments?
Um, I don't know the deadline for comments. I believe it's in the next week or so that comments are due.
Okay.
I have reached out to KP Law to see if they have like a coordinated boilerplate response of comments that we could send. I'm not aware of any other groups that are doing that, but I think it's worth us submitting some comments as quickly as we can, and even if they're just staff comments. But I know last time there was a similar bill that the commission submitted last minute commentary on, and I think I would recommend that we do the same in this case.
Alex?
Yes, I think there's been a newspaper article about this, and I also read some other stuff. And Erin had some stuff out, and one of the comments that occurred to me right off the bat is that we often have little control over the length of time it takes an applicant to have a complete filing in front of us. When you look at the number of continuances that many projects have, where we have questions and then there's 2 weeks to go by or whatever before they come back, we are often at a loss to speed things along. And some applicants may have difficulty providing a complete application, and that would use up a lot of time. So there's a potential that we get hamstrung.
Well, at a minimum, that could be a comment that we should send in, but there may be other things. Aaron, would you be able to send a draft of whatever you have the time to produce to the commissioners to see whether they wanted to add anything or have a further discussion about it? But I do agree that we should attempt to make a comment to the extent that we can. Individual commissioners certainly could do that to the extent that they're knowledgeable. I know that several of our colleagues in our surrounding towns are very knowledgeable and presumably are also developing comments. So hopefully they would maybe show those to us, let us know what they're going to be saying so that we have some, not like it's a coordinated with only a week. You can't do that probably, but at least we know what us and our surrounding towns are going to try to say. I think Carol had a question or a comment.
Well, I was looking at the MEPA amendments for residential applications, and those are all due October 14th.
Okay, well, that could be
So
the
I think
same
maybe that's
time-
the date.
So
same time frame.
it's a different bill, I believe,
That
but
is
it's
different.
so it's covering residential development, but it's a
Well, I would encourage anyone who's going to help with this process or do their own to make sure that we really are sufficiently informed and educated about the thing we're writing. So if you have something you think is correct, maybe run it by the people on the commission or other people like Aaron to say, how does this square with what you understand this bill to be? But with only a week or so, I would strongly recommend that no one send in something that's not fully understood. That could do more harm than good. Okay, I think, yeah, Alex.
It doesn't hurt in our comments to say that insufficient time was provided for a
Yeah, there
thorough
you go.
review and to ask
Okay.
them to extend the comment period
Okay,
by 30 days, 60 days, 45 days, something like that.
that's a good suggestion. Aaron, is your hand up again?
It is. There's a member of the public who has their hand raised, Bruce. I don't know if you want to take comment on
I'm
it.
willing to, this is a general discussion, but let's just take two quick comments from the people in the public and you'd have to bring them in. But I don't want to spend a lot of time. I would like to go back to the hearings at the appointed time. Michael DeCara.
Hi there. I just want to add some information. So public comments are due to DOER on October 17th at 5 o'clock. I strongly doubt they'll extend it because they've got to get these things out before March 1st and they're under the gun. The other thing I want to share is there's an information session tomorrow at UMass in the Oliver Design Building at 7 o'clock. It's one of 4 information sessions around the state. So they're coming here. People want to go and learn about this stuff. And then the last thing I would say is DOER is doing the regulations for what's called the small clean energy projects, which is under 100 megawatts of storage and under 25 megawatts of solar generation. But site suitability, which also touches what you guys are talking about, is EEA. And they are doing an information session tomorrow on Zoom from 12 to 2. And I can share that with Aaron if you want.
That would be very helpful.
And their deadline for comments is October 24th. And that's all I got.
Thank you so much. Very, very helpful. A colleague from a nearby town. Does the other person want to make a quick informational comment, or not a comment, but provide additional information? Or was that included? Seeing no, Jeff Weston, very quickly.
I'm a member of the Shutesbury Planning Board, but I'm talking as a private citizen. I just want to comment about the dangers of the lithium-ion batteries and the publication by the American Chemical Society that extinguishing water from lithium batteries has a high toxicity for many life forms. And I'm concerned because we have one site in Shutesbury that is already contaminated, and we've spent $700,000 on dealing with that site. I'm concerned about the actual placement of lithium-ion batteries in the Shutesbury.
And we have been down that road also, so we share the concern. Thank you. All right, let's move on to the hearings. If you could put this, yeah,
So Bruce, could I just say one thing before we go into
please,
hearings?
yes.
So on both of these items, this is kind of for the public who are in attendance tonight. We have one new member who has not yet been sworn in, and we have two members who are not in attendance tonight. And so we're asking folks if, unless it's absolutely essential, that we not take public comment during the public hearings tonight on either project, because we run the risk that the other members who are not in attendance at a future meeting won't be able to vote on these projects due to the Mullen Rule. And we would like to have a full contingent of the board members to be able to review these projects when we have them present and we have a hearing on the agenda. So my recommendation would be if folks have comments, we could take them during the general comment period at the end of the meeting.
Right.
But unless you have something that's absolutely critical to bring up, we would ask that you try to hold comments until the end.
And the next time when these will be continued, so there'll be the next hearing in 2 weeks, would be an opportunity. Okay, so let's go to hearing number 1. So this is an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, Goddard Consulting on behalf of Pierce Sky Development for the confirmation of both Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act resource area boundaries and Wetlands Protection Town of Amherst General Bylaw Article 3.31 and regulations resource area boundaries within a designated study area on Shutesbury Road, map 9B, lot 11 and 12, and map 9D, lot 27. The request was from the applicant to continue the hearing and move it to October 22nd at 7:15 p.m. Do I have a motion from one of the other?
I move to
Yeah.
continue the public hearing for DEP number 089-0762 to 10/22/2025 at 7:15 p.m.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
Carol with the second. Rachel, for the vote, Rachel,
Aye.
Carol,
Aye.
Alex,
Aye.
and I vote aye. All right, on to the next hearing. This one does, yeah, this doesn't have a time. So in this case, this hearing cannot open due to the abutters not being properly notified. The hearing will be opened at the next scheduled meeting of the Conservation Commission on October 22nd, 2025 at 7:20. Anything further? So let's see. We want to do our other business, and Renee Moss has a raised hand, but Renee, I'd prefer if we could wait till this, there's not going to take very much longer to do these, and let's take your comment at the end. Okay, now the next one is a request for certificate of compliance, 20 Greenleaves Drive, DEP 089-0723. And Aaron, please give us a description of the situation with this one.
Sure. So this is the project for the completion of some stormwater structures and paving of a parking lot at the Greenleaves. And also they use this permit to, I believe, relocate a water line, directional drilling water line that was associated with the site. I did conduct a site visit the first time around. There was some improvements that needed to be made, so I requested that those improvements be made. I went out and did a site visit and saw that some corrections had been made. So at this point, I'm supportive of a complete certificate of compliance being issued with the ongoing conditions that are noted in the draft motion.
Okay, so we do want to take public comment before each motion on the specific things here. So does anyone from the public have a comment about this request for a certification? Seeing none there, we can go back to the slide. Okay, do I have a motion for this for Greenleaves Drive?
Move to issue a complete certification for DEP number 089-0738 with the following ongoing conditions under both WPA and bylaw. Special condition 3, boilerplate perpetual conditions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Include a note on the top of the COC that the topsoil burial with elevations plan attached to the COC shall be recorded at the registry with the COC.
So that's a new piece that I don't see on the slide. Aaron?
Did I
So
read the wrong one? Did I read
yes,
the
yeah,
wrong?
yes.
I
Could you
read-
just withdraw that one? And it's the one right above it, Alex.
Oops, sorry.
Let's try again. I need a motion for the Greenleaves Drive.
I withdraw the first motion and make a motion to issue a complete certification of DEP 089-0723 with the following ongoing conditions under both WPA and bylaw, special conditions 3 and 5, boilerplate perpetual conditions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Carol, your vote?
Aye.
Alex?
Aye.
And Rachel?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Now we'll go on to the UMass Pavilion, 089-0738. Aaron, a very quick summary of where we are with that one.
Sure. So the work has been completed. I did go out today and I had been out previously, but I went out today just to do a follow-up. The site looks stable, and I'm fine with releasing the order and issuing a certificate of compliance. My only, and again, with the special conditions, the ongoing conditions that are referenced in the order, the note about the plan being attached to the COC, this is because there was soils that were buried on the site, which were there were contaminants basically that were buried on site that were capped. And so this is to request that the commission attach that plan to the order so it's recorded with the COC, so it's on record where those soils were buried on the property.
Okay. I'll read this one and then ask someone, but before I'm going to read it and then see if there's any public comment. The motion is to issue a complete certification of DEP 089-0738 with the following ongoing conditions under both the WPA and the bylaw. Special conditions 3, boilerplate perpetual conditions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, including a note on the top of the certificate of compliance that the topsoil burial with elevations plan be attached to the certificate, and then so that it can be recorded at the registry along with the certificate of compliance. Now, before I ask for someone to move that, is there any member of the public who would like to comment before we vote? Seeing none, let's, do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Alex, do I have a second?
Second.
The vote, Carol,
Aye.
Alex,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Okay, so that was the UMass Pavilion. And the last one is 170 University Drive. It's about vegetation management, DEP 0890598. And I think I've been to this site, so I have a sense of it, but very quickly, Aaron,
Yeah.
what's our situation there?
So this was a permit for vegetation management that the Cooley Dickinson Hospital had for their facility on University Drive. And this permit expired, and the commission members probably recall that we just issued a new permit in association
Right.
with this work. So this is to close out the old permit. I'm completely
Okay.
fine with us closing it out, and they already have an active new permit. So they need to close this out and record it before they can record their new order of conditions.
Okay. Any public comment on that one? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I move to issue a complete certification of DEP number 089-0598.
Second,
Second.
Carol,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
Alex,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Okay. Let's move on to the last slide. This is a request for a minor administrative change to an order of conditions at 807 through 815 Main Street, DEP number 0890760. And very quickly, Aaron, any other comment there on that one?
Yeah, so this is just to make the commission aware that they're slightly changing their sequencing to build the house before they put in the parking lot. And I've been on site and reviewed the plan, and I've met with the excavator, and I have no problems with the change in sequencing. It's
Okay.
mostly to put it on the record that we're just adjusting the sequencing for construction a little bit.
Any member of the public have a comment on 807 Main Street? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion?
Move to approve the minor administrative changes for DEP number 089-0760.
Second,
Aaron, do I need to recuse myself from this one? Is this the project that Jeff's got?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, actually. In which case we won't have a quorum
Okay.
of members who can vote on this. So, and that's completely fine. We could just take the vote, you can recuse, and the motion will fail, and we can just take it up at the next meeting, Bruce.
okay. So let's see, Alex,
Aye.
actually, sorry, I need a second.
Second it.
Carol in the second. Alex voting aye. Carol,
Aye.
Rachel,
Recuse.
and I'm an aye. So I'm just making a note here. Okay, then we'll move that on to the next time. We have some compliance updates for 140 through 148 South East Street.
Yes. So if it's okay, I'm just gonna turn off the
Yeah, sure.
slide so I can see you guys. Sorry. So the first one, the 140 Southeast Street, I wanted to give the board a little bit of a rundown of what the situation was there to make it clear and transparent to everybody, the background story. So I was contacted by the owners who wanted to do some demo of 3 residential homes that are along Southeast Street. And I discussed with them what I would need in order to allow that demo to move forward as what's under the regulations, a minor activity. So if you're removing impervious surface and making it pervious under the regulations, there's a minor activities provision that allows that work to move forward. So I had laid out some stipulations as far as conditions of that work happening, and was very specific about how that work would need to be done, as well as requiring a plan, and approving the location of erosion controls and saying no excavation could occur until the controls were in and inspected, etc. So that was sort of one piece of this. The second piece is that the applicant was in process of filing a notice of intent application for a future development, which that item is on the agenda tonight, but it's been pushed to the next meeting because of the abutter notification issue. And so there was some confusion apparently with the work installing the erosion controls, because they were asked to put in the controls based on the demo plan, but when the surveyor went out, they installed the controls based on the proposed development plan. And in the course of doing that, there was some disturbance that was behind the approved limit of work for the demo, which were some rutting. There was a little bit of soil that was moved. And also there was some excavation that was done prior to my inspection to a sewer capping on two of the houses, at least two of the houses, and a water shutoff was done without an inspection. So I issued a notice of non-compliance and basically asked them to cease and desist. It was a complicated enough situation that I advised the applicant that we wait until the order of conditions is issued for this project before moving forward with the demo at this point. So that is the backstory of this, and I'm happy to answer any questions from anyone of kind of how it all transpired, but I wanted to make sure everybody knew.
Okay. Any questions from commissioners on this,
No,
on Aaron's description? Yeah, Alex.
just to say that there was a site visit where Bruce and myself were present. Just so other commissioners know, and those listening know.
Yeah, and Aaron's description is what we just saw out in the field and what she described to us. So it does seem like a reasonable set of steps to take. And I can't see the slide. So what was the other one on that list?
Yeah, so we did do a site visit out at 422, I think 422 or 430, what was the address? Sorry. I don't know why it looks like I lost my my connection to my remote machine, so I'm trying to log back in.
I'll find it.
I think it's 433. This was Alex and Bruce, you were both out on the site visit, and it was inspecting the plantings and the restoration that was done on the site in association with the wetland restoration. So there had been some work that was done there by the landowner, some wetlands were filled, and so this was the restoration. And so just to check in and see if commissioners have feedback in terms of their feelings relative to if they feel like the site has returned to compliance, or if you want to allow a period of time for the success of the plants before we talk about compliance.
I have a comment. Is it?
Yeah, Alex.
What's the process? Are we doing commissioner comment or comment?
Yeah, this is just
okay.
There is no vote for this, so let's just discuss it.
The plants seemed like they were happy, and I didn't see any dead plants. If we waited to find out if they survived the winter and are healthy in the spring, that would be a long time to put off a decision by the commission. So given the time of year, I guess I would favor moving forward.
I agree with Alex, and the other factor was that the landowner seemed increasingly knowledgeable about what he was trying to accomplish based on his interactions and work with Aaron and this process. So I felt comfortable that he actually cares a lot about what's happening there, and that we should just move forward too.
So I guess just to make sure I'm understanding, it sounds like the commission would be comfortable moving forward with a motion that the site is now back into compliance, return to compliance.
We could do that. can you show the slide again? Because we don't have a written motion there.
Yeah, there is not a written
I'll ask
motion.
for one. Yeah,
Okay.
but I just want to see the slide again, just to
Sure.
remind. So this is 433 Southeast Street. Do I have a motion to, what's the formal language I should use here, Aaron?
I would suggest a motion that the commission finds that the restoration work that was done in association with the enforcement order at 433 Southeast Street is found to have now returned to compliance with the Wetland Protection Act and local wetland bylaw.
Do I have a motion to the effect of what Aaron just said, which we will write in the minutes, but
So moved.
Alex with the motion, a second,
I second.
Rachel, the vote, Carol? Oh, sorry, are there any comments from the public about 433 Southeast Street? Okay, the vote is Carol,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
Alex,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Okay. So, Aaron, can we go back to the last slide again? Just
Yes.
so I'm reminded of the steps we have left to take. Monitoring reports. Now, I think I trust that we make an attempt to read Erin's report every time because there's a lot of valuable information and detail in there, including her monitoring report paragraphs that we don't necessarily go through in detail here. Alex is holding up the example. And so please do read them. But Erin, is there anything specific about the monitoring report you want to highlight here?
No, I'm doing my best to keep up with the monitoring reports. We have many projects that are currently under construction and would just love for the commission to, if you have extra time, go through those monitoring reports. Like I said, do my best to keep my finger on the pulse of each site, but it's physically impossible for one person to do. So any help that you guys can offer reading those reports, and if there's anything concerning or any
Whoop, Aaron, you've muted.
if you have any
again.
issues or concerns, let me know. But I haven't had any site concerns, and part of the reason for that is with the drought, there has been really not a lot of water falling, which has helped a lot of sites in town.
Do any of the commissioners have questions about the monitoring reports? Or anything else in Aaron's memo that we may have rushed past too quickly? Are there any members of the public who have a comment on any aspect of what we discussed? Renee Moss. Good evening, Renee, you're on mute. There we go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I just have two quick things. The first thing I wanted to know, if you could tell me how many people from the public have shown up?
It looks like 20. No, sorry, 20 minus the 6 of us, so 14.
Okay, thank you. And the other question was on the agenda item for the hearing for Pure Sky and Goddard. I wonder, can you tell us why there is a continuation for that? Is that okay to share?
Sure.
Aaron.
Bruce, do you want me to field that?
Yes, please.
So we've received estimates from 2 different vendors to conduct a peer review on that project, and those estimates have been provided to Pure Sky, and we're just waiting to receive checks so that the town can set up contracts with those vendors to conduct the peer review. So
and
there's
what is the thing that they are reviewing as an expert?
So we have Emily Stockman, who's our she's the peer reviewer who typically conducts our peer reviews.
Sorry, of what? What is she peer reviewing? What is she reviewing?
Abbreviated notice of resource area delineation submitted by Pure Sky to verify the resource area boundaries on the site
Okay,
within the study area. And then we have a second, which is a peer review where Laura Supp from Fuss and O'Neill has submitted a proposal to check the hydrologic calculations that were submitted as part of the application that we're being
Okay.
asked to verify.
Renee, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions from the public on any aspect of tonight's meeting? Jeff Weston. Mr. Weston? There we go.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Thank you. Can you supply the email again to, I'd like to send my individual comments to the commissioners. Can you supply that email, and how does one go about doing that?
I'll let Aaron handle that.
Are you talking about the public comment portal?
Public comments regarding the, regarding Pure Sky. I was hoping to have more time to comment on that rather than 5 minutes for the entire public, 2 minutes per person. And my judgment is that that's really insufficient for public comments, but so be it. I'd like to submit my written comments, at least to the individual commissioners.
Sure. So if you go to the Town of Amherst Conservation Commission page, in the
Mhm.
left-hand column, you'll see there's like a list of all of the commission business. So there's like agendas, minutes, our meeting recordings, and right at the top, there's a link for submitting public comments. So you can fill out that form and put any commentary that you want in there, and it is automatically distributed to the entire commission and staff when you hit submit.
Great. And will there be time for public comments on the 22nd, or will you limit that
Absolutely.
again to, will you limit that to 5 minutes for the public and 2 minutes per person, or what's the limit there?
So the way it works is we attempt to have it be done in 5 minutes, but if there are 10 people who want to speak for 2 minutes each, that's what we'll take.
Okay, so you're limiting it to 2 minutes per person.
We try. It feels in fairness to the other people who are also wanting to comment.
Mhm. Okay, I understand that. That's seems to be insufficient time, but I understand your rules. Thank you.
Well, and I would say, please do send written things because that's extremely valuable to us.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Any other public comments before I entertain a motion to adjourn? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Everyone wants to keep talking.
I
I'm
moved
not, I'm not used to leaving you all this early.
Right. Rachel, I was hearing you starting.
I said I moved to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll let Carol do the honors.
I
Okay.
second it.
Alex,
Aye.
Carol,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Yes, thank you very much. Before 8 o'clock is unusual, but we did some good work this evening. Welcome again to Carol McNary to the commission. Have a good evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
And
Night.
thank you-
Have a great
thank
night,
you-
Good
everyone.
night.
Bye-bye.
and Thank you, Aaron, for all your help.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're welcome.